Today we're going to be looking over how to visually interpret a graph of a monopoly. But first we have to look over some key features. We all know that every profit maximizing firm is going to produce where MC equals MR. That's going to be their production output. That's where they're going to want to produce those units to sell. Now, unlike the other competitive markets, a monopoly does not have a supply curve. They are the only suppliers in that market. Now, we're going to go over the graph, and you're going to see some differences that I've mentioned here. And then I'm also going to explain kind of what those differences mean in a monopolistic, fashion. All right, now to prove that I wasn't lying to you, we're going to go over a monopoly graph. As you can see, this is a monopoly. It has some of the key characteristics that I've mentioned in the past, and we're going to determine where it should produce and at what price. So we know its output is going to equal MC equals MR, and we find out where that is, and it's right here. And I'm going to make up a quantity. Say it's 100, all right, which it will differ per each graph, so do not think that what it's supposed to be, please. All right, so we know MC equals MR, and that's an output of 100 units. So for our price, we know that there isn't a supply line to go to the demand curve, but what we do is we have this guiding line that brings us up to the demand curve. And this is the price that people are going to be willing to pay. And say the price is, $10. Again, a random number that I generated, and it does not actually reflect what could be possibly on homework assignments or tests or anything. So please, this is just for this example. P equals 10. So we're selling at $10, and we're we're producing, I should say, 100 units. Now, as a firm, we got to figure out what the costs are. Well, we're going to use our guiding line, and that's going to determine what our costs are, what our total cost is. We go to our average total cost, it's right there, and we go straight over. Now, say this is a number I'm randomly generating, so don't take it at face value as everything's going to be this number. Let's say this one is 5, right? So we have determined what it's costing this firm to produce at this level, which is 5. Now we're going to find our total revenue, which we know that we're producing 100 units at $10. And that will equal $1,000. That's our total revenue. Now we're going to figure out our total cost. Well, our total cost, we can just look at this graph and determine. We got an output of 100, and it costs us $5 per unit. So we have 5 at 100. That'll equal $500. So that is our total cost. Now, to get what is on everyone's mind is how do we get profits? Well, we know that profits is total revenue minus our total cost. And we just plug in those numbers. So with this firm, if we're producing 100 units at a price of 10 and our total cost is $5 per unit, we'll have a profit of $500. So from looking at this, we know that our average total cost is 5. And then we do 5 times our output of 100, and that will give us 500 as our total cost. Now to get profits, we take our total revenue of 1,000 minus our total cost of 500 equals our profits of 500. So I hope this tutorial has kind of helped you able to pinpoint some of the differences and able to actually visually interpret a graph of a monopoly. So, but if you do have any questions, feel free to leave some in the comment section. Or if you're a little old-fashioned like myself, you can come see us at the Econ Tutoring Center, where we're just a bunch of cool guys. So, and don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe.